Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Target Teach 2023 series. If you're preparing for prelims, the upcoming prelims, this particular segment will devote its entire attention towards the strategy for the next 150 days. So if you are interested in 2023 as well as 2024, you can watch it for 2024. For 2023, it's a must watch because I have divided the entire segment according to a very general strategy. Every person is different and every person is free to tailor their own strategy. But what I prefer here is to provide a general strategy in which you can carve out your own niche. Okay. So 3 parts are there in our prelims examination. General studies, as in the GS paper 1. Second is CSAT, and then we have current affairs. This is dreaded by many of you, so I can totally understand. Moving ahead, let us talk about which of you I am talking to. I mean, what is the targeted audience? Here, we will devise a strategy for the next 150 days for veterans. Veterans as in, you have given at least one serious attempt of UPSC examination and you have read the books properly. You have also revised them 1 to 2 times. Okay. Then we have full-time and working professionals. Some of you might be having 24 hours all by yourselves. Some of you might be working or maybe a housewife or a homemaker. So this is for you as well. You also are expected to have finished your NCERTs and option has been done by you, or at least 80% of them. So if you are fitting in these criteria, you can be a veteran, a full-time worker or working professional. But these two are the important ones. You have finished your NCERTs and you have done your optional or 80% of it. Okay. So please do not get panic if you have not done your option as of yet properly. Just focus on option plus your GS, your prelims examination GS part. Because one thing I would like to let you know is if you have completed your optional, that gives you an upper hand and you will not be in any sort of anxiety once you clear the prelims. Okay. Prelims, if you have done it, then you will have to think about mains. But also do not be demotivated because it's just an examination. It's more of a psychological warfare rather than a physical turmoil or a mental turmoil. Okay, so be psychologically very strong. So you can do it, don't worry. GS paper 1 shall be divided into different subjects: history, geography, polity, economy. Environment and ecology is much relevant to geography, but it is a separate subject now. Then science and technology, art and culture can be called a part of history, but I have taken it separately so that you can have a better strategy. First of all, please revise your NCERTs very well. In the next 2 to 3 days, you can revise your NCERTs. Then break the subjects down. Okay, break the subjects down in such a manner that there is an ease of revision. Previous year question, this is very, very important. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of previous year questions because many of you do not at all care about PYQs. Please do not do this mistake. Go through previous questions. Definitely. This is what Drishti tells you. Every teacher here tells you that go through the previous year question. Why? Because you have to understand the pattern so that your mind gets conditioned and read and grasp that information only which is relevant. Secondly, also the core areas you will be able to identify with the help of these previous year questions. Also, there are many times repetition. Okay, repetition is done when it comes to prelims question. So please do watch that as well. Join a mock test series. Again, this is very, very important. This is also very, very important. If you do not join a mock test, you will not understand where you stand in relevance to other children. So please join a mock test. Do not worry about I will get less marks, more marks. That's not your problem. Okay, that is the problem of the paper. What your problem would be that if you haven't joined any test series and just go and perform your first ever encounter with UPSC on that day only. Don't do that. Okay, first concentrate at this point of time on the weaker subjects. Then also weekly plan and revision is important. Okay, weekly plan for revision is important. So you can divide it into 4:3. 4 days study, 3 days revision, or 5 days study, 2 day revision, 6-day study, 1 full day of revision, or 3-day study, 1 day break, 3 days of revision. But I would not prefer you to take a lot of breaks, because this is the time when you come, when you turn on your mode of warfare. You are on a war footing right now. So these are the things that we have to take care of. Then GS paper second, for that previous year questions are a must. It is advisable to join a mock test for this as well. Also, it is advisable that you go through the previous year question twice or thrice a week, not more than that. If you are an English medium student, I am expecting that your paragraph are good, your comprehension part. Maths, do not ignore maths. If you have ignored maths up until now, please take a book, look at the previous year question, identify certain chapters which are getting repeated all and all over again. So these are the 3 strategy facets you can take. And then, of course, practice makes perfect. So practicing can begin from now onwards only, but we will look at it from the perspective of CSAT being picked up from the month of January onwards. So now let's talk about current affairs. Current affairs, you do not need to study current affairs month-wise. It becomes much more interesting when you divide the current affairs according to subject. Take, Drishti's magazine of the last 12 months, okay? Divide the 12 months of current affairs subject-wise. If you read the GS of one subject, you can read the current affairs simultaneously. This will become much more interesting, and more integration of current affairs with the GS will happen. This is the plus point if you do that. Okay. Also keep in mind that Drishti Publications, prelims practice series is there, right? Buy that. Very comprehensive book, very nice book, very nicely written. You can look at the the previous year question from that only. So you can divide it from January to March, then April to September, and then up until now October to December. But do not ignore editorials as well. In the newspaper, do not read every news. It's not important. Just read the editorials, because other than that, everything is covered in the Drishti Current Affairs magazine. So Drishti Current Affairs magazine will take part of the piecemeal important news. But for for editorials, the Hindu or Indian Express is a must. So let's first of all talk about the plan. I have tried to devote at least 12 days to every subject over here. First, supposedly, you have polity. If you are weak in polity, I said weaker subjects first. Suppose I am weak in geography, then I will try to take geography first so that I have time to revise it later on. So take out polity. 12 days plan is there. In the first 10 days, you will do your GS basics plus March to October current affairs, and then attempt 2 mock tests. Now it is up to you how to divide it. You want to divide it chapter wise, you want to divide it page wise, you want to divide it anything you want to do, but please complete it within the first 10 days like this only. GS basics, then March to October current affairs. Current affairs should be related to polity only. So not a lot of hampering or not a lot of hodgepodge is going to be created. And in that phase only you have to attempt 2 mock tests. Then for the next 2 days you have to cover GS basics and then November's current affairs plus 1 mock test. Again, this plan can be divided anyhow, but please do this much within the 12 days. This is the general outlay. Then comes history. First you will take out modern history from death of 𝐸𝐴urangzeb to independence of India. Why am I taking history after polity, specifically modern history? Because it is intertwined. It is intertwined in nature. You can do reverse as well. First you can take modern history, then polity. Okay, but do not put any other subject between these two. Okay, so modern history from death of 𝐸𝐴urangzeb to independence. For 4 days, the entire GS basic related to this information, the information between it, plus 2 mock tests which are relevant to history is important. Not a lot of current affairs is associated with modern history, but if you can find any, please adjust here only. Do not move beyond this. For medieval history, 4 days, GS basics, plus 1 mock test which is related to medieval history is important. And then for ancient, again, 4 days, GS basics, plus 2 mock tests you have to attempt, and 5 mock tests all in all for your history. Current affairs, if there are any, few is there, more of the current affairs are related to art and culture. But if there is any, then you can definitely put it within these 4 days. First 4 days, if there is any current affairs related to modern history, second for medieval, and then ancient. Then comes art and culture. I have just given 3 days for art and culture. Sorry, but this is enough. If you have read your art and culture well, then you can do it here in 3 days. So GS basics plus current affairs, you have to work simultaneously, and art and culture relevant current affairs are lesser as compared to polity, economics, science and tech, or environment and ecology. So you can adjust it here only, and then you can give at least one, preferably 2 mock tests which are related to art and culture, but one is important. Then comes geography. Again, 12 days plan over here as well. See, first physical geography, you have to pick out physical geography first. Here, geomorphology, origin of the earth, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, you must complete it in 3 days with 1 mock test. And simultaneously, if there is any current affairs related to geography, then you can cover it from March to May. Okay. Then again, for Indian geography, the basics of India, physical features, river system, climate. I have given you 3 days for it, plus 1 mock. And if there is any current affair, then from July to August. Then minerals and industries like distribution, agriculture, land utilization, natural vegetation and fauna, economic infrastructure, human geography. Just 2 days, plus September to October, you can have your current affairs. If you want to attempt any mock test, you can give it, but if you don't, then not a problem. Then world geography, important. Major national regions, specifically, importantly, current affairs related. Regional geography of developed countries, regional geography of developing countries, and South Asia. This has to be completed in 2 days, plus maps as well. Current affairs of November, if any. Then human geography. Here, man and environment, relationship, growth, development of human geography, determinism, possibilism. This is more important from the perspective of mains, but prelims can also come. Specifically data and if there are new developments. So importantly, you can see current affairs related to all this, but do not go beyond 2 days for this. And of course, the current affairs of December I have taken. Then environment and ecology, again 12 days. Here first 10 days, similarly like we had for polity, GS basics plus March to October current affairs, again subject wise related to environment and ecology only. Then attempt 2 mock tests. Environment and ecology is going to be very important. Then for the next 2 days, again GS basics plus current affairs of November and 1 mock test. So 3 mock tests you have given over here. Then science and technology. This is much more dynamic in nature related to current affairs. So please take current affairs very seriously when it comes to science and technology, because most of the questions are asked from science and technology current only. But GS basics are important, and that is related to science and defense, space technology and defense. Okay, space technology to be precise, not science. Space technology and defense first 7 days. Then current affairs from March to May, you have to complete it within these 7 days only. Then you have to attempt 2 mock tests within these 7 days only. And then general science, you have to provide 4 days for it. Here, the current affairs within these 4 days from June to August, which is related to general science and technology, have to be completed. And 1 mock test related to general science has to be attempted. And 1 full day of current affairs you will devote to current affairs of science and technology from September to December. Now we have economy. For this, I have given you 10 days. First 10 days, 12 days are important for are given for every subject, but first 10 days are important. GS basics plus current affairs from March to September. Within these 10 days, you have to attempt 2 mock tests. Then for the next 2 days, GS basics plus current affairs of October to December, and then 1 mock. So if you break it like this, it won't be a problem. So these are for the first few days. Okay, first 70 days, supposedly 60 to 70 days. For the next 70 days, revision. See, similar theme subjects, they have to be intermingled, and that means in 1 day you have to take up 2 subjects. Polity plus modern history together. Ancient history plus ancient history, art and culture together. Medieval plus medieval history, art and culture together, and geography plus environment. There are 2 standalone subjects, economy and science and tech. You can do it either side by side or alternatively. For the next 70 days, 8 days of revision in which GS basics related to both have to be completed. Current affairs from September to February 23 have to be completed, and this is relevant to polity. Modern history might not have a lot of current affairs. Then 2 mock tests you have to attempt in these first 8 days. For the next 3 days, current affairs from March to August 2022, and then you have to go for 1 mock. Then you must be thinking, what am I doing over here? I have gone reverse. Okay. Then next, for ancient history plus ancient history related art and culture, again 8 days in which you have to complete your GS basics. Within that only 1 mock test you have to give. Then the next 1 day you have to go for current affairs from September to February 2023. Then the next 2 days you have to go for current affairs from March to August, and then 2 mock tests. So 8 plus 1 plus 2. How much? Almost 11, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. Then 6 days for medieval history in which GS basics plus art and culture related to medieval history. Within this 6 day, 1 day or 1 mock test. Then current affairs of from September to February 2023. You have to complete simultaneously in these 6 days. Then 1 day you have to give it to entirely, for this current affairs from March to August 2022. Okay. Then geography plus environment, you have themed it together. 6 days and 6 days, 12 days. Okay. So 6 days you can either do geography and environment simultaneously, or you can do alternatively. That means for first 6 days you can go with geography and then next 6 days again environment, or you can go 6 days you have to complete both geography and environment, and again in the next 6 days. But whatever suits you. So GS basics plus current affairs in the first 6 days, September to February 23 for both geography and environment. For the next 6 days, GS basics plus current affairs March to August, and then 2 mocks you have to attempt within this time period. For economy, there are only 10 days, but GS basics are important, and current affairs of whole 1 year plus 3 mock. Why am I saying 3 mock? Because economy is garnering a lot of attention from the media. So do that. Moving ahead to the next one, science and technology, 9 days have been provided in which GS basics for space, defense technology and general science, and current affairs of science and technology from March to February. And 2 mock tests are enough. Also, we have to understand that this strategy is tailored in a general sense. You can have your own strategy, but these are the certain guidelines that we have to follow. You can divide them chapter wise, whatever subjects you are going to complete, page wise, whatever suits you best. But within this time, this much revision should be done. So thank you so much for watching. Stay updated and all the very best. Everything will be good.